Hi everyone, if you want to start your own business but have no idea where to start or what to do, basically if you don't have a guide, then you've come to the right video. In this video, I cover everything: legal requirements, finding the gap in the market, choosing your unique product, how to price it, how to build strong branding, and most importantly, how to sell it. But one thing I want to say right away, always follow your passion. No matter what field your passion is in, whether it's food, beauty, crafts, or tech, you should start your business in that area, because business is a long-term game, and to succeed, you need both passion and hard work. Along with that, having the right mindset is super important. You need to know what level you want to take your business to, how much value and time you're willing to put into it. A lot of people start a business, but without the proper mindset, they end up failing. So if you're truly passionate about homemade business, this video is for you. I've divided this video into 5 chapters so you can get every single detail that's essential for any successful startup. Before starting a homemade food business, it's crucial to understand cottage food laws, which define what types of food you can sell, where you can sell them, and the maximum revenue you can earn before certain regulations apply. Essentially, these laws allow you to sell food from your home, but there are strict limits and rules that vary depending on your city, province, or state. So always do your own research by searching your city name along with cottage food laws on Google. At this stage, focus on 2 main things: food restrictions that could affect your menu and business limitations, such as rules against shipping baked goods or selling to restaurants and supermarkets, which would impact a wholesale-based business. It's also wise to identify potential blockers early, like zoning restrictions, and contact your local zoning board to confirm whether commercial activity is permitted where you live. Many beginners skip these steps and start selling from home just to test demand, which can show market potential but is risky and not officially recommended. Once your concept and menu are finalized, you can prepare for the cottage food operator permit, which typically requires a food safety manager certification, sales tax license, proof of potable water, and submitting an application. While waiting for approval, focus on finalizing your menu visuals, presentation, pricing, and packaging, and take product photos for marketing. After receiving your permit, you should consider additional protections, such as forming an LLC to separate personal and business assets, and product liability insurance to cover any incidents if a customer becomes ill. Platforms like Flip Insurance are popular for small food businesses due to affordability and flexibility. Finally, check if your city or county requires a separate business license. By following these steps in order, you ensure your homemade food business starts legally, professionally, and with the right foundation for long-term success. Finding the right product market fit is the most critical step when starting a business. Instead of jumping straight into creating a product, focus on understanding the market first. Identify unmet needs and unsolved problems, because every problem represents a potential product opportunity. Start by researching what's already selling. Check what people are searching for, what's trending, and where demand exists. Study your competitors, see how they solve problems, and identify gaps they are missing. These gaps are your chance to create something unique. For example, you could make sugar-free chocolates for gym goers who avoid high sugar, or beautifully decorated, customizable chocolates for special events and gifts. The key is to create a product that stands out visually and conceptually while solving a real need. Do not copy anyone's product. Take inspiration, but make sure your product is unique. Often, successful products are iterations of existing ones rather than completely new inventions. You can combine 2 or 3 ideas, adapt them, modify ingredients, or find a new way to present them. Using strategies like combine, adapt, modify, put to another use, eliminate, and reverse can help systematically explore new possibilities. Experiment with materials, merge products, tweak processes, or look at the chocolate from a fresh perspective to create something innovative and market-ready. Social media is a goldmine. Explore, search, and see what people are selling. Also, check channels that showcase unique business ideas for inspiration. Keep iterating until you find a product that is both unique and meets a real market need. In this chapter, we're going to see how to decide the price of a product. The first thing we'll do is calculate the price for a single batch. For example, let's say you make 20 chocolate bars at a time. First, we calculate the cost of ingredients, which includes nuts, chocolate, and all the ingredients used to make that batch. Next, we calculate the packaging cost. This includes chocolate wraps, boxes, labels, gloves, ribbons, parchment paper, or any other items you use. After that, we calculate the overhead cost. These are hidden or indirect costs that come up during production, like stove, gas, electricity, cleaning supplies, and even travel costs to the market. Lastly, we add a labor cost, which is the cost of your time and effort. Then we add up all these costs. For example, if the cost price of one batch is $100, we divide it by the number of bars in that batch. Now we have the cost of a single chocolate bar, which in this case is $5. After this, we add a profit margin, and that will be our selling price. Alright, so now it's time to build a strong brand image for your business. Branding isn't just about a logo or color palette, it's everything. Your brand name, logo, theme colors, product design, packaging, it all counts. But here's the core concept. Branding is about creating a mental image in your customer's mind that keeps them coming back to you. The very first step, picking a unique brand name. And I'm not talking about Googling some random word or grabbing something off the internet. No shortcuts here. Take 2 or 3 days if you need to. It's worth it. You want a name that stands out in the market because this will be the foundation of a powerful, long-term brand that could make you rich in the future. Now here's a psychology trick you should know. Alliteration and rhyming. Think of big brands like Coca-Cola, Google, M&M, Samsung, Chuck E. Cheese, PayPal, Bed Bath & Beyond. Notice anything in common? Word consistency. When a name has repeated or rhythmic sounds, it sticks in your mind easier. It bounces around in your phonological loop, making it way more memorable. Second thing, pick a specific niche. Are you making chocolates for kids, couples, gift buyers, or premium chocolate lovers? Let's say you're going for homemade premium chocolates meant for gifting or special occasions. Your brand name should feel soft, warm, premium, and easy to pronounce. And if you add business-related keywords in your name, it becomes searchable. For example, if someone searches chocolates or sweets, your Instagram or website can pop up, giving you better reach. Before finalizing your name, check if anyone else is using it, especially for domains. If someone already owns it, you won't be able to secure a website or social media handles later. Next up, the logo. Design it carefully. You can use Canva. Pick colors that match your niche. For chocolates, think dark brown, cream, beige, soft gold, deep maroon. Avoid neon or overly bright colors like electric blue or bright red. Keep the logo simple. Handwritten, stylized brand names work best. Next is packaging. Stick to your theme colors. Transparent window boxes are great. People trust what they can see. Use ribbons, custom wrapping, and include a handwritten thank you card or personalized message with every order. This creates a personal connection and drives word-of-mouth marketing. And lastly, remember, branding isn't just a checklist. Real branding happens when customers keep coming back to you because of the emotion, taste, and experience your product delivers. Focus on long-term trust, reputation, and legacy, not just quick cash. That's how your home-based chocolate business will not just survive, but grow and be remembered. Now that you've decided on your unique product, cleared all the legal requirements, and set up your brand name, logo, and a strong brand identity, the next step is the actual business launch, where you get your first order. But before that, you need to build a strong social media presence. Create proper accounts on Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp Business. Use the same logo, brand name, color theme, and a clear bio across all platforms so your brand feels professional everywhere. Next up is setting up your ordering system. Let me tell you something. New businesses are starting every day, but 90% of them fail. Do you know why? They don't know how to sell. And in selling, the most important things are product marketing and understanding customer psychology. Hiring a professional agency to create your ads can cost $300 to $1,000, which is almost impossible for a small business just starting out. The good news is that with AI, creating highly professional ads has become easier and more affordable than ever. I've worked with multiple brands as an AI ad creator, so I know what actually works. Very soon, I'll be launching a long, detailed video on BizMates where I'll share my experience and teach you how to create your own professional ads using AI tools, how to implement marketing strategies that actually convert, and how to understand customer psychology. It doesn't matter if you run a food business, cosmetics, clothing, or anything else. This video is for you. If you want to create a website, Square and Hotplay are two popular options. Square offers a free and highly customizable ordering website, though it doesn't come with a free pre-order order system. Hot Play is made specifically for food businesses. Customers can select a pickup time, get automated reminders, and order management is easier. It does charge a small platform fee, but it makes handling orders much simpler. Choose whichever fits your budget and needs. And remember, switching platforms later is always possible. If you're starting with a low budget, taking orders via Instagram DMs and WhatsApp Business is more than enough. Once your ordering system is ready, it's time to launch your brand. Create a strong launch post and post it on all your social media accounts. Share it with friends, family, WhatsApp groups, Facebook groups, and local communities, clearly announcing that you've started your homemade chocolate business. Honestly, your first 20 to 30 orders will mostly come from friends and family, and that's completely normal. Alongside the launch post, make a poster, but just handing out a poster isn't enough. Prepare a fresh batch of chocolates, go out and let random people taste them, neighbors or people on the street, and hand them a poster too. When people taste your product and meet you in person, trust naturally builds. At this stage, your goal isn't massive sales yet. It's about introducing your brand to as many people as possible. The more people know you, the more visibility you have, and the more orders will follow. Send your chocolate boxes to friends, neighbors, and relatives. Ask for honest feedback and reviews, and improve based on their suggestions. With permission, share these reviews on your stories and posts. Real reviews are the strongest proof for any homemade food business. To bring in orders yourself, you need to be a little smart. Record the process of whatever you make daily and post it. You don't always have to say, buy now. Often, just visibility is enough, and later, those same viewers will become customers. On Instagram, remember, you're not just selling a product, you're selling the process and the experience. Shots of melted chocolate, filling molds, wrapping, tying ribbons, packing gift boxes, and the final reveal reels are super powerful and build trust. In the early stages, focus more on content, proof, and consistency rather than sales. Once orders start coming in, focus on packaging and branding. Clean wrapping, simple labels, expiry dates, and including a business card or QR code with every order that links directly to your Instagram or WhatsApp. These small touches make your homemade chocolate business feel professional and encourage repeat orders. When the business stabilizes, design special chocolate boxes for festivals, birthdays, school events, offices, and corporate gifting. Chocolates naturally make great gifts, so there's huge growth potential here. Collaborate with local gift shops, coffee shops, and event planners. And when you clearly know which products sell best, that's the time to think about paid ads. Before that, fully mastering free marketing is essential. And that's it. This is all the knowledge from start to finish. So now it feels like you're ready to start your business. But remember one thing, business is a long-term game, and only those who work consistently and smartly win. So good luck to all of you. And I really hope that once you start your business, you'll drop your brand name in the comments. I want to see what you're building.